welcome. So I've decided to kind of like step away a bit from the projects like that main one I wanted to do, or I was busy doing, the Jungle Legends project, because it's what to do across every field that a person is doing, basically across every framework, and it's a bit tough since the build process of stuff like the current project basically that I'm working on, NGO project, since the build time takes so much from you, it's a bit difficult to then have something that is fully running on the tutorial space of what to do. But in most cases, anyway, there's so much out there for in terms of like lessons and all that. The best I can probably do in those is go to stuff like W3 School and then just look over the meaning of things there. But I'd have to find out the policy on sharing their content and all that stuff, because it will just be explaining what they have in text, explaining it in person, maybe. Yeah. So I don't know what policies that person might run into when it comes to this with those ones. But yeah, so the aim of this one though, a NGO project, do the introduction to it, I guess, and then idea behind it is maybe you can see from the layout. It's the math something. I think it's the math lead. That's what I named it. Demo users. Lena 101, Pat Thompson, MS, and then Future Elon. Yeah, but a lot going on there. So the idea behind it is simple. It's just basically question papers, mainly metric question papers and metric social space. Um, Someone might think of finding a way to monetize it quickly off what I already have, I guess. But I guess, yeah, as it is right now, it's NGO. And should there be need like for like maybe bigger server, then it needs more support in terms of like I would say some funding, but we'll see how that goes when we get there. But right now, this one simple pass rate. So that's the project pass rate, and then pass rate is for the question paper. So I had to cut the questions. It's a bit slow because the PC is under strain right now. It's been on for like a very long time. So let me just go down once. It's server side loading, I believe. That's the issue I have with this PDF viewer if it's viewing as a network view, right? Let me find a dot network. So it's from SFPDF viewer, right? That's the library is from. There should be more to add there, but yeah, continuous. That's the layout mode. I'm curious if I did change the layout mode, what would that be like? But it's pulling from network, so which I believe it is server side. That's why it's taking time to load. If I scroll down, it seems like it loads better when it's loading everything that is on screen. Then everything shows up. See like that, and that one shows up. But now it seems like it's loading it every time you scroll. So which means there's a couple of, I haven't checked, maybe I can check, inspect, and see how many connections we're running there, how many calls to the backend we're running there, but I'm not gonna check it right now. However, the workaround would be possibility they have a workaround already, but then it would be to get this converted into a base string and then view it from there as a memory list basically. Yeah, and it's an order list, integer list basically. Yeah, so that would be the step to view it so that it doesn't have to do the server side loading. But I don't know if it's because of trying to cater for the UI, but if you have like less than 80 pages, it's not really pages, less than 90 pages, it's not really pages in this case. In this case, it's just cuts that I made basically. You see, like find stuff like this where it's just a question, a question, a question. Those each count, they're gonna be very useful when it comes to tagging these with answers and all that stuff. So if you're gonna click on it and try to answer, instead of just having to input maybe an answer, a what you call this, an answer, a question number, and then answering, you can just click on it and then it will allow you to answer it, right? So that's the idea behind this space. So it will look like this on mobile. This might be a bit different, that it might be like hidden a bit here, and then what could be showing is only maybe the, I don't know, maybe icons. However, this could stay like this depending on this space, how well is it utilized on the phone, right? And the feedback from the users. So that's what that layout will look like. That's the question paper. You see, like right now, I drag and it takes its time. I think I should definitely work on that to make it a base, so that it will probably use something like dot in memory. You see, yeah, and it int list it. I don't know if it's an ordered uint, but yeah, it's a uint it list, but it's a memory list based kind of integers that you can use. So you convert this first, download it, and the PDF into to local. The download will probably definitely be a what will it be? I think it will probably be a base 64, and then or file, I guess, and just convert to base 64 and then convert to the list. Okay, so that's what that looks like here. I might possibly change these modes, but then you have a whiteboard. So the idea behind how it works in terms of like the answering, as I said, that in this space you will then just select. Hopefully that works out, because it means there's a lot of papers that are going to be cut. So something like that, then you select that. But the view is better on mobile for the size. It's a bit smaller here. I don't know how the person watching is seeing it at the moment, but it's kind of very small. So I'm just gonna make it bigger, and then that drags opens up a bit so that you get more. So the tag there is for either online or offline. So when it gets to this point, the idea, because it doesn't zoom in either way here, it put it on zoom in to fill the space. The idea would probably be to have this on one side and then the answering space on one side, or just keep it like this, and then I'll find a way to organize, utilize basically the area around. So these ones, they just sit there. So online is green, offline is red. Might keep the colors, might make it so that it's more custom, because it should be turning into a social space, right? Where learners, I guess, there's a lot of time spent on social media. It should be a space for young people, I guess. It should be a space for young people where they can interact and at least they can do something, because there's nothing much to do in the space in the way of interaction or social media that is worth any progress. It's just that, yeah. But yeah, more talking point on that should be there as I go, basically. So this one, yeah. So you'd have to, like, if you have a question like this, then you'd select. I'm not even sure what the question is, but then your answer goes into the location, right? Answer goes here, and then from there you add your answer, because you could have like multiple lines and you don't have a space where you have multiple lines here. So that's why the add is there, so that you can add it and then you have your first line, right? So if you have like maybe more to say, it's more to say, right? Okay, let's just make it longer. Okay, so with more to say or state, then you'd add again. I should put in a point where that prevents it for you adding like the same thing a couple of times, so that you don't repeat your own lines. You don't press twice. But yeah, answer goes here with more to say or state, right? And then you have a space for scribbling, or I don't know what you call it, scribbling, and just, I guess, something like this. I don't know, maybe you need like some diagram of some sort, right? Maybe 3 of them, I guess. I don't know what you would be doing, but yeah, maybe it's split into 3, I guess 4 in this case. You want to know what's going on there, and then maybe you have some sort of, I don't know what you're doing. So it does work well with a mouse. Never mind that it's slow right now. I think it's just a computing power. It does work well with the mouse. Hopefully it is responsive when you draw on the phone, but the problem I have with it, it's if your thumbs are big, then the space is small. It's better for people with like the pens and all this, they can do way better. The alternative of this scribble point would be or a whiteboard location would be like actually taking an actual paper, writing on it, and then taking the picture and then sending the picture in after you have your answer there. So ideally, what's going to happen here with this, you'll get a population of answers similar to this kind of layout, but then now it should be just circles starting either from this location going down or from that location going left or right or at the bottom, right? All this going like horizontally or vertically, I guess. And then only the answers or the what you call this, only the sections or cuts in the PDF that have answers, basically they have questions that need to be answered. Like this card here, this is just an information card, but this card here is a question card. So this doesn't have an answer, but this one has an answer. So which means that something like this, ideally, this one should have a tag of basically answer me type of field where you can click the button and then you can answer basically, and then your answer should be logged after that, so that if you are scrolling, you would know, oh, how many are not answered. I still don't like this loading process. I really think it's server side, but I can inspect it since this is big anyway. Let me just inspect it and see. But so the focus as we go, the focus is gonna shift from being basically trying to do like small tutorials here and there, because you still need a crowd, and you need, it's gonna come to this, that at least here we have a possibility of interaction from the users to know, comment and see if the community around this can grow. Should there be like certain upgrades going forward, they should be listed in this space and in its own I would say socials basically. So right now, for some reason, I cannot, my right click is not working on this. Let me just see. It's working outside, but it's not working inside here. Oh, I think I remember I disabled the right click. I didn't know it would work. So I disabled the right click on this. You can do anything with the other click, but then the right click does not work at all. So you see that works, but then the right click doesn't work at all. So that's why now I can't inspect, but there should be a shortcut for inspecting. I have never used it before, which is weird. Okay. So I just need to inspect to just see basically what's going on. Let me just see my shortcut. That's 3 pesos. I guess the big guess would be it's that. Nope, that's a source. I guess I will inspect it another time. I forget these things, but yeah. So I just wanted to see basically how many calls we're making per scroll, but we'll figure that out and then see if we replace this entire thing with a different format. So yeah, this is it. This is the what you call this, the early stages. I've had something similar a while back, but I never had the time to actually get it to materialize into something. This was like very early days of development in terms of like 2017, somewhere there, development in Flutter. I guess the possibility was there, and then the issue that was there, I was trying to stream the drawing, basically trying to stream this drawing so that the user on the other side can see, oh, what you are doing if you're kind of like helping out. I will get to the point where I think this will be streamed, but then the stream of this will do what? It will be different. It will be kind of like streaming your screen, or streaming like streaming a widget to an extent or another. Because before I had to try and collect all the input points so that they appear on the other side, or on the other user side. But now I think you can just stream the screen itself, right? And then after streaming the screen, it goes straight to the person you're trying to explain to, instead of like fixing it up. And then so it'll be a good point for interaction as well. Yeah, so any contributions, any insights from I guess people who are gonna be using it, or people who think they know which direction it should take? Because so far it is basically just built for, I guess, to be a social that people can come to. I'm curious about taking it as what you call this, because it is basically like a product of a non-profit at the moment, what's going to use government content to just help out. Basically, what happens then when we need like the servers are growing and then we need to manage it financially, then does it have a point of like funding itself, or does it have that kind of like what you call this, that kind of structure for a non-profit? But I think it should. So we will see where as we go with that, but can't monetize this because it is basically government issued. To try and monetize it, I guess it would go at the route of extracting these papers and then making, I guess, the content your own from the papers. But as it sits right now, you can't extract this paper and it still looks the same. You still need to have like this kind of like layouts so that even students who are going to do, they can be like, oh, okay, there's something like this in this location. It operates like this. But instead of trying to just make it a learning location, just try to make it like more social, because if you make it more social, it then means that there is a bit of an attraction of community to it. Because if it's just a learning area where you just like get here, you learn, and then you leave, there's nothing there to it. But some incentive should be there for people to be here, for learners to be here, aside from the fact that they will pass. But I guess also talks should like look at going to schools and doing some talks just to see basically the benefit of doing something like this, because this is how I worked in school anyway. It was online. It was just doing question papers in most cases. So I guess talks will be important. Anyone with insight on that as well, it will be like basically kind of like useful on which direction to take. But so far it's just as simple as going to the school, presenting what they would need to do, the learners, and then let them at it. But the freedom of basically working remote at the moment, it means that I should be able to do this easier. I should be able to go to like some high schools that I do know locally, and then just make my way around, which means that because it's like Gauteng, I think there's different locations for different papers, which I have to look at that and see as well. For different locations, they have their papers basically. The biggest process at the moment when it comes to like manual labor, that is not necessarily development, is cutting these questions up, basically cutting them into something. But I think linking them is just a technical basically process. It's a technical process, so it doesn't have much to do with what you call this, with manual labor. It's just actual labor, development labor. So I'm gonna end this one at that. 80 stages of project Passrate. I believe this should have like a what you call, it's been a while since a person has been in school, but it should have a direct proportion basically to the results, to the pass rate basically, or to the results of like whichever school is going to employ it fully, because it is, I guess, also a free space, you see. So and it's going to support the physical aspect of it that I'm pushing in the NGOs to try and have like something in the less developed areas. Yeah. So this is it for now. yeah, let's hope that it grows. I'm not gonna click on this for now because they do reveal like something that doesn't belong onto this app. It belongs somewhere else. They lay out. Basically, yeah. For now, this is it. It will materialize into something that is much more useful, and then yeah.